All right. Do you see the recordings on?
Yes, I do.
All right. Cool. All right. Welcome in, everybody. One of one interviews. I'm with my French Canadian friend Andrew Charette. What's going on, Andrew? How are you, dude?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for joining. This should be fun. I have a lot of fun stuff to ask, and we're definitely into the same things as far as the hobby goes. So, for people who don't know you, how'd your journey into the hobby first begin? And who are you?
Well, I collected as a kid, a little bit of Pokemon, some football stuff, and then it just kind of just stopped collecting out of nowhere, really. And then my buddy at work he was on Whatnot. He's selling like dollar singles, and we started talking about it, and I was kind of looking for a hobby at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, let me hop in. So I started buying boxes. And yeah, spent a lot of money on boxes for sure. My first rip as like an adult was a Phoenix hobby box. So I started off like $350 box.
Jeez.
I got a cool Sam Howell RPA out of
Oh, Sam Howell. I don't even want to talk about that guy. Oh
it.
my God. I got a bunch. Somebody was asking a month ago. They were looking for Sammy Howell, and I was like, dude, I got tons. What do you need? You can have them. I'm sick of looking at them, dude. So, um, before we get into all this good hobby stuff, I really want to know, and I think there's nobody better to ask this question. Would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
Invisible. Definitely.
Invisible?
Yeah.
Why?
Because first off, you could get away with so much stuff. So you could do it, you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. We'll just leave it at that. No, invisible, I mean, like the possibilities are endless, right? Like you
Yeah,
can go anywhere, do anything. I'd have to go invisible. Flying would be pretty cool though.
it would be. It would be cool if you could only fly at like 15 miles per hour. That would suck. But I figured to be invisible with the horrendous season the Chiefs are having, you'd probably like go in and get game film from everybody and try to.
Try to get Kelce back on his A game.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That's what you guys need. That's terrible. So you got you get your whistle wet buying Phoenix and doing a bunch of little stuff. How does that go from there to being involved with the collective and eventually becoming an admin?
So, I was just being on Facebook. I knew there's Facebook groups. Somebody he had kind of told me about it. Even though he's actually in our group right now. He doesn't really do much Facebook. He doesn't like lines too much. That's just kind of not his lane. But I ended up getting in a group and man, fell in love with the kind of the gambling aspect of it, really. Like it was fun, it was exciting. I wasn't buying like the cards that you guys see me line. I was super excited when I first got my like $50, $60 card. I was like, man, this is it. Was in with this
Yep.
group. I was really new to Facebook, really new, or not Facebook, but that side of Facebook, and really new to the hobby in general, right? Did not know that I was the owner of the group was like one of the most infamous scammers on Facebook. And so yeah, I had no idea. And then there was some like rumblings and everything just kind of got out of control, right? So me and Pat were actually moderators in that group. Him, me, and a couple other guys had formed a really good bond, right? And so we kind of broke off and we did our own group, which it's kind of died now, but it was just it was more of a place for us to commune. You know, we still have that admin and group chat. There's really no activity on it. And, I'd been a part of a bunch of different groups. Rich and Patrick at the time were in the collective and they told me about it. I came over. I think when I joined the group, there's about 650 people. So really liked it. Dived
Jeez.
yeah, right. And I'm talking, this is like probably 14 months ago, like little
Right.
over a year. So went over there. Man, it just, yeah, I fit right in. Like with Rich and Patrick there, I had a really good relationship with them. We kind of always done business together, and man, it just fit. It really did. I liked the banter. I like to talk shit. So, obviously you see that side in the admin chat a lot, as all of us do, because
It's the best.
so it's really become like part of who I am, really. I mean, like we can say what we want, hobby and all that, but like you build these relationships with people, and that's really what the collective has become. Like, besides my wife, you guys are the first to know about major life events, like major life events, you know, massive cards that you hit, just good and bad things. So that's kind of how I came to the collective. Just dove right in, was really active, invited a bunch of friends, and they saw something. Glenn saw something, and I'm sure there's some politicking by Rich and Patrick too. So
Yeah, it's probably a similar story for me, ending up there, but man, I'm glad I'm there, dude. And you're right, man. Like I'll wake up at whatever weird time I get up in the morning. And like one of the first things I'm gonna do is I gotta go back and see what I missed in this admin chat. Like, and I'm like literally like I'm trying to work on how can I turn this into a sitcom. Actually, probably be more like a rom com, but just you know what I mean? Like what if I took all of it and fed it into the AI machine and the AI machine spit out, the show, and then we could figure out who would play who. You know what I mean? And we can get to that later, like who would play Glenn, who would play Dutton, dude. This actually that's a game we'll play later on, dude. Anyways, dude,
that
I'm
is a
sorry,
nice
dude, I'm an
touch
idiot.
there.
That would be fun. All right, let's get to
It would
business
definitely be
here.
rated R. It would definitely be
What's
rated
that?
R.
Oh my, at a minimum. At a minimum, dude. I couldn't even imagine. Well, and that's the other thing. Like some of the little memes that are group specific, I've taken them and applied them to my life, and like now, like my work group chat uses the monkey with the glasses and the cigarette. Just stupid stuff like that. Like it's so crazy. You're right, dude. It's everything, man. All right, so now the collective's rolling. Hit 5,000 members the other day. It's a little over a year old, whatever. It's not two yet. That mind blowing. Every day the group is just doing something more and getting bigger, and it's awesome. Crushing lines, obviously annihilating flashes. Now we see the collective repack.
Yeah.
What was that moment where you were like, bing, light bulb, we need one of these here? How'd that all go?
So this actually took a lot. Well, like we talked about this for a while. This was something that me and Rich had talked about. I mean, really like right when I got into the collective, probably even maybe a little bit before the collective, of like, hey, how do we get into this revenue stream? Um, and what is it going to look like? So I mean, I've thought about it for a long time. You know, I just never pulled the trigger on it. And then, speaking with Rich, Glenn, I was like, we're missing something. We're missing the breaks. I, for one, I hate breaking. I know it sounds weird coming from somebody that does repacks, but I hate doing wax, to be honest with you. Like, it's fun, but man, there's nothing worse than opening up a hobby box and disappointing 20 people. Like, but it is awesome. I've pulled downtowns, like I've been on the opposite end where it's like it's makes people ecstatic. So I was like,
For
how do
sure.
it's a mitigation to that. Something that I do enjoy. I do enjoy, being on camera and or my hands at least and doing stuff like that. But less risk, right?
Dude, I get it. I in the same way. I do repacks. Everybody knows this. When it comes to for the same reason you said, you open up hobby. One, nothing hits. Two, maybe something hits, and now you got to worry about turning that PSA 10 into a PSA 6, trying to penny sleeve it, top load it on screen. Then you're like, shit, I got the wrong size, and of course this is a freaking thick card, and oh my god. And then on top of that, let's say you do a bunch, and you've got 32 teams, and you've got 32 guys, and you got to sort it all. And your wife tells you, no, I'm not going to help you this time. Blah, 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 and then you got to do it all yourself. Screw all that. With the repack, I know I'm opening up a banger. It's going to be at least the floor, might even be a monster. And all I got to do is package that one for that dude. It's so easy. That's why I like doing them. So,
Same. Sorting's the worst.
so,
But I do shout out Grail.
terrible, terrible.
He pushed me on the repacks for sure. He's like, man, you need to get this rolling.
So, um, before we get into the specifics of it, how long have you been doing it in the collective, the repack specifically?
I think we're going on little over a month, probably about a month and a half, I think. Yeah, about a month
So,
and a half
so
now.
it's a baby.
Yeah, very much so.
What kind what kind of reception have you got from the members? Not the admins, but the members.
From the members, honestly, it's all been positive so far. I haven't had any, obviously if you don't hit, you're disappointed, but the reception's been really well. I think people like the price point for 28 bucks.
Hmm.
And it was a proof of concept. And they've enjoyed what I've put into the breaks so far. Um, I've
Yeah.
I've asked. I've like after a break, I'll message some of the guys like, "Hey, what do you think? Like, give me your honest opinion." People that I do trust, and some people that like I have a new relationship with because of the repacks. People that I'd never really
For
interacted
sure.
with before. So it's been overwhelmingly
Yeah,
positive.
dude, that's awesome, man. Because the stigma of repacks. I've been doing them for easy 3 years. Um, and the stigma's there, and for me, I know everybody's full of baloney and likes to be nice to you to your face, but like I mostly believe what they tell me. Like I think 90% of the people that say it when they say, yeah, you run a good repack, I think they really mean it. I know 10% of people probably talk shit behind my back, but whatever. To be able to like truly feel like, all right, I'm not one of these dudes they think of like, oh, I don't like repacks, they suck. Oh, but this one's good. I better stay in that this one's good category. That's the goal because it matters. So walk us through this process. Like I know what it's like to do it, but how do you go about sourcing and buying your cards for repacks?
A majority of my sourcing comes from online, Facebook. So that's my bread and butter. I've kind of built up a reputation on Facebook, you know, and most of the time it's people that I've done business with, you know.
Sure.
Now after being, present, you got to be present in the hobby, right? Like it, the hobby is very much, have you been relevant lately? It's just like sports, you know.
Yeah.
If if you take a break for too long, man, you're gonna be starting back over. So I've fostered these relationships, in and outside of the collective. And it's just simple buying posts, like people, it just causes that interaction or, just participating. People are more willing to
Yep.
work with you and want to give you stuff, at a fair price if you're just have a good relationship with them.
For sure. I know a big thing for me when, I'm the same with a buying post, I'll go to different groups. I hate to give away trade secrets, but I'm also not an asshole. So when I put out a post, I respond to every single person that posts, like, so, hey, looking for, cards 100 to 500, hit me up. DMs are best. If they comment there, I'm responding. If they DM me, I'm responding. And I might quickly go, hey, let me circle back. I'm at work or I'm going through 500 messages, but I will get back to you. And I get back to you. And I get overwhelming responses that are like, hey, man, thanks for getting back to me. And it's because we know how it is. Like there's a bazillion people on Facebook and most of them are tool sheds. So that's not true, but a lot of them.
There,
So
there is.
I think that's a big thing. So, all right. So you do a lot of buying there. Do you grade cards and hope that you gem one or get some nines that are pretty high value? Do you plan on do you do that or like bank on PSA or whatever returns and putting those in there? Do you do any of that?
Not yet. That is my next step. Right now, I bootstrapped these repacks all by myself, financially at least. So grading and the turnaround time with PSA is a little bit too much for me right now. We're talking about
Yeah.
3 months until you get your card back. I don't really have the
Yeah.
capital at the moment to invest $2,000 in sending a bunch of cards off to be graded. And now I do grade some. If it's for PC, I'll send it in for grading. Just something that, I'm gonna encapsulate, keep it safe. Some major bangers.
Sure.
Um, Kind of my next grading thing is actually not even football, it's Pokemon. So I'm about to be submitting a bunch of Pokemon stuff. So
I need to get on the train with you guys, man. I keep seeing more of them come through. I've been hopping in lines for them. The collective has a ton of football. They got baseball. They got basketball. I wish they'd have basketball. But the dudes do a lot of Pokemon, and I'm definitely trying to learn it so I can get involved because I know my Enigma Trading Company guys have Pokemon repacks, and they kill. I just don't know about them, so I think I'm really missing out. But so when you're building a run, like what's your thought process for like how to balance it, like the floor, the ceiling? Do you worry about an average? Like how does this work for your repacks?
so when I'm building it, yeah, I try to put the least amount of floors in as possible, if that makes sense. You know, I
Sure.
I want to build something that I know that I would like. Now that might not be the same for everybody, but I think over time I've especially running lines, right? And running flashes. Like I think I have a pretty good touch for what is popular at that moment because the market changes so fast. You know, Oscar
Hmm.
JJ McCarthy was going wild. Now it's cooled off a bit, you know. So really
Yeah.
you've touched on it a couple times in your interviews. I want something that's going to be a little bit more shelf stable as well. I mean, we've talked about it. You want something that's not going to
For
have
sure.
the wide, just, man, it's $250 card one day and then $30 the next day. Now, it
Yeah.
is football. People get hurt. People have bad games. And a lot of people have knee jerk reactions. I mean, you've seen it with the Jaden Daniels cards. He goes down, and you saw
Yeah.
probably a 25% decrease in his cards in the last month.
Yeah. Just hop on card ladder and watch the swings. It's insanity.
So I
So
want to create a balanced repack, right? Something that there is collector, like for collectors, but also for flippers too. Because I know a lot of the guys in our group are flippers. So I'm going to try and cater to that a little bit more, but also know that a lot of our guys do have their own personal collection as well. So you need to
yep.
be very aware of who is joining your repacks, like the type of person.
There it is.
And then you need to cater
There
to
it
that.
is. 100%. Pro tip 44. Know your audience. Let's say we got some old man who's a weirdo who lives in a nursing home and collects a bunch of cards.
Pat
Maybe
Shula.
he's probably like a Niners fan. Yeah, he's probably a Niners fan, right? So let's say I'm doing 10, let's just say I'm building one today. I know he's a degenerate, so he's going to buy at least two spots, at least. Um, I'm probably going to think of him when I'm throwing in a card. So that way, when he doesn't hit, because he won't, because he can't, because he is like, he's allergic to wins. But I know somebody else knows him and will be able to trade and do all that. So, and I'm joking here, but you know what I'm getting at. You know your audience, you know your room, you know the liquid that'll sell, and then you know the trade bait and the value that's in. You drop a flawless or a panini one, and it might not be somebody I like, but I know there's a market for this because I pay attention to what I'm doing, and that's what this is about. I think repacks on Facebook, you can get in a group the most dialed in things in the world. You cannot do that on Whatnot. You can't do that on any of these other platforms where you don't know the guys. And that's the beauty of a Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? I mean, does that make
Mhm.
sense to you? Because that's
Oh,
the way I see it.
absolutely. I mean, I think you nailed it right on the head. And like you said, trade bait. So like I stuck that Jimmy Smith 101 in there. Jimmy Smith's not the biggest name, but man, it's a 101. Like, talk about
Bingo.
it might not be the biggest name, but it's still super liquid because there's people out there that only chase 101s, you know.
Yeah, I tried for it.
Yeah, exactly. See, like you
Yeah,
have the 101.
you know.
Case hits are always a positive, even if it's a lower end case hit. Like sneaking a
Totally.
zebra, a tiger prism in for a floor card. I mean, it doesn't. That
100%.
it's so easy to move because you got to be dialed in on like what you know is hot too. And I get a lot of that information too when I go to card shows. Like when you see
Right.
stuff catches your eye, you're like, and a zebra prism or a tiger prism or you know a 101, you're like, oh, that's cool. So
Yep.
that's really
Yeah.
how I try to build it is
Yeah.
eyes.
That's a big thing too. Whether you're a flipper or you're building repacks or whatever you're doing, you're flashing, just paying attention and talking to people. So don't limit yourself to the realm that you're in. If it's TikTok, if it's Facebook, if it's card shows, go to them all and talk to people and see what they're saying. Talk to the old guys, talk to the young kid. Trust me, come talk to my son and his friends and find out what they think is cool. You know what I mean? It's not what you think. That drives stuff though. It might not be as much as the 30 to 40-year-old degenerates that we are, but it still drives stuff. So, all right. So when so you how did you determine like where you wanted the floor and the ceiling to be for the collective repacks?
I've actually seen. I'm not even like. I mean, we talked about it. It's when we had our first conversation about how to go about building this. It's just observing like what others have done, like seeing what is successful, seeing. Um, you ain't got to get cute with it. I mean, you don't have to.
Right.
There's people that have done this for you ultimately. So you want to make it your own. You want to have your own little style to it, but why get away from something that's working, that is proven in a certain format? With mine, it's
For sure.
$28 to get in. Now, it's not stupid cheap, but it's also not breaking the bank for those that like to take the occasional like dartboard throw, right? And then I even
Hmm.
break it down on like we do minis for it. Like Lee Reed yesterday won a downtown off of a mini spot that he paid $6 for. Like
Absolutely.
rate like return of investment is 100% there. And there's some guys that come in and they just automatically buy all the AFC West, like Clint. He comes in and buys the
I see
AFC
it every time.
every time, you know. And this Clint wasn't even a guy that I had much of a relationship with. We hadn't even really talk too much. And, he was one of the guys that I was talking about earlier about, developing these relationships with people I've never really, had conversations with and getting his feedback.
Yep.
Obviously, he's a firm believer in it, you know, and,
Yeah.
we want to make sure that like people are seeing the value. There was some hesitancy, from multiple people, like, what is this going to look like? Because a lot of
Yeah.
people throw trash. Some people do throw just some trash cards that nobody really wants in a repack to make money. And I mean, you see it. And so,
Oh yeah.
really, you know, being transparent with it and showing, like, I can be terrible on screen presence. I don't have that dialed in yet. I'm knocking stuff over on camera, stuff like that, which is fine
I
because
thought that
it's
was part of your act.
exactly like I made the joke last night. I knocked some stuff over. I was like, it wouldn't be a break of mine if I didn't knock something over. It was my
Love it,
life,
dude.
like a little bit of comedic relief
I
because I know
get
you
it.
guys are gonna roast me on it in the chat.
Dude, I remember it was, I don't know, beginning of the summer. I think it was the first Playmaker Platinums I was running because we didn't even have a Playmaker Platinum. And I was running golds, and the golds were too close to the Lux. And I mean, like, dang near identical. And I was like, wow, this ain't gonna work. We're doing the same thing. Let's flip it. So we run the Platinums a little bit higher, and I'm all pumped for it. And my boy Cody Gonzalez, he's in the collective. He's in my group 101. He's also his son is and my son are best friends, so he's local. So he hops in. He's got his boys. They're at their house. They got it up on the TV, and they're pumped because he's got a bunch of spots in it. And my background just falls, just eats shit right there. And the only thing I could do is in my head, I'm thinking, all right, we're gonna cut in. He's a big dumb animal, folks, and just keep it moving. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yep.
God, man. But that's all right, dude. I totally get it. It took me a long time to get everything situated, and now it's just listening to my son and I argue while we break. That's like our thing. So it's like goodness. So I think you're doing great. I enjoy watching it, but even more so, I enjoy the comment section. It is so much fun. But that's what it's about, dude. That's what makes because it's the cards, yeah, but it's also the group. And I tell the people the same. I'm a fireman professionally, and I tell guys, yeah, you got to learn this job because some of these people you work with will get you killed because they don't know what they're doing. They're terrible. That's part of this job. That's a big part of this job. You know what another big part of this job is? Station life, cohesion. It's the same idea here. Yeah, we got to have those fire cards so we don't get killed and it dies. But on the flip side, we got to hang out, and that I see it the same way, dude. And you're crushing it, man. It's
Thank
dude, it's good. So shout out to you in the group, man. It's a good time. Have you had a big hit moment yet? Like out of your repacks, like where like all right, we've had a bunch of good ones. This is cool, but then I just dropped this nuke. Have you hit it yet, or are we coming? Or have we not seen like a nuke yet?
So we haven't seen the Grail card yet. We've seen some pretty good ceilings for sure. I try to make sure ceilings are always like right around the corner, Just like I try to not mix in floors. Now, when I have a ceiling, you usually have floors in there. So I started off, I guarantee the Grail out of every 100 packs, right? Um, so the first 50 packs that I was able to pack have the Grail in it, and then I stack on like I had to completely break those down, right? Because the 10 packs, they worked, but the turnaround time, people weren't wanting to wait 8, 9 days for that. And so I had to completely break everything down, repack it. Luckily at that point I was able to pick up more inventory and break it down into 5 packs for each break. So I put them in stacks numbered 1 to 5, and I have no idea what's coming.
Awesome.
And so I just grabbed 10 cards now, and then you've seen it. Now I'm like, hey, chat, pick left or right, And so I have these 5 pack builds, but I also pack them as a 10 set. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I know, like I
Yep.
keep the 10 together for each single one. That way that we're making sure that you're not getting multiple breaks without downtowns. Um, Color blasts and kabooms are on their way. So just keep an eye out for those. So
Grab some spots, guys. Grab some spots.
yeah.
Dude,
So
and let me shout out Darren Anderson real quick because he taught me the same thing a long time ago. Anytime you can give the chat control, the better. So when you're saying left or right, that is the way. Because when you have multiple people, there's no way, with the guys that are always gonna bitch and say there's funny business, chat's got control. All these guys are saying it, and we're going off of there. That's the best way to do it.
and as you see, I probably do mine a little bit different than some others. You know, when you're getting your spot for boxes 1 through 5, you're not, it doesn't matter what the number on that pack is because I random that live. So there's
Right.
full randomness. Like there's no way to fabricate that because I'm doing it all live. I'm making sure, like,
Right.
I mean, you could take all of the NFC West or whatever and, hope, but if you're taking one or two, there's no way of knowing what the order of that's going to be. And so, I'll tell you a story. So when I've done probably about 10, 11 breaks minus the repacks so far. And pretty early on, I was doing a almost a full case of Donruss blasters, like 15, 1600 cards. And I'm like 45 minutes into this break, dry mouth. I'm getting tired from saying all the names. And I have my like vet base stack, and I mean it's
For
that
sure.
tall almost at this point. I got multiple stacks. Well, I'm opening a box and I have my wife reach across the table because she used to help me. She used to help me like as we're going, and she reached across the table as I'm like opening a box, and I had already set the packs down behind the box, and I like went to show the chat that it was empty, and then some dude's like, "Oh, he's swapping packs," and
Oh,
yeah, man. And it was something that like really didn't make much money doing. It was just something that I was like enjoyed doing and hoping that, I pulled some fire. And it turned into this whole thing. It was in that old group that I
yeah.
was in. One of the moderators was like this guy, the owner's friend, and he never participated in the group. And he like allowed this post to go through at like 2:30 in the morning about how he's calling me a scammer, I'm swapping packs, and like people that know me, like this the furthest thing from the truth. So I wake up at, my early 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and my phone is just blown up. I mean, it is. I'm like, what the hell happened? And I get on, and there's like people that I had never even talked to getting on there commenting. Like, I was like, bro, she was grabbing the 200 base cards to get them out of the way because I'm knocking stacks over. You know me, I'm clumsy.
Right.
And so really that kind of turned me off. That's why I took a break. I mean, I literally
For
had like
sure.
I had like $1,000 worth of retail wax that I just shelved. I was like, I'm not doing this. It wasn't fun. So it took me a while to get back to where I'm at now. Um that guy ended up funny thing is that guy ended up scamming people. Took him like over
Shocker.
a month and a half to ship a $500 card, and like it was like an act of Congress to get this guy to ship. So funny how that all works out.
Dude. That it can take the wind out of your sails, anytime something small happens, it's rough. And again, shout out to your buddies that whoever they are when you're doing some stuff happens, man. Just even something as simple as knocking over your cards that you have displayed in the back. But then, shout out to the sixth man, the 12th man that is working the chat going, directing, like, oh, look, he's an idiot, but kind of saving your butt on something small, something big like that. Dude, what are you going to do, man? shit happens, you know, and all we have is our name, in especially in this hobby. But I can tell you've definitely learned because of how you do your repacks. You like the triple blind study for the, you know, the medicine. That's what I see the way you do it, because it's randomized here, 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 and I don't know which way's up. You can't cheat that, and that's awesome, you know. And then you still go left or right with the check. You know, what are you going to do? It's
Oh,
beautiful. So it's good stuff, man. I think you're doing it right. I think so. So we hit a lot of the stuff I was gonna ask you about the repacks. I do wonder, repacks in general. Do you think over the next few years, and I ask this for a reason, do they become more mainstream or do they stay niche? And I'm looking at it not just from Facebook, but on a global perspective.
it's kind of a catch-22. Our hobby is niche, right? So now we're kind of
Sure.
looking into it has been niche. It is growing, but it's still niche, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, so it's still like a subgroup of that niche. So it's always going to be niche, but it's a major player in the game, and it's going to continue to grow because repacks. I mean, you see the value in them. Is what like you see the courtyard IOs, you see the arena clubs, you see these huge
Exactly.
hitters that they had to pivot with the way the market's going. And so like they're going to become bigger and bigger, I believe, because it's easy now. You can just hop on, buy a pack real quick for $500 with a ceiling of whatever, and you see it all the time. And half the because I'm in a lot of groups, half the time I'm pretty sure it's these major corporations that are, oh yeah, go here and say you hit this, and yeah.
No, yeah, totally. I mean, if if I had a major budget, this little interview series, I mean, uh, I would I would have I would spend it on huge things and make it look bigger than it is. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? That's what they do. And that kind of, okay, for instance, I've argued with myself about this a million times. I've deleted Whatnot off my phone and reinstalled it about 50, 11 times. Okay.
Yep.
Goddamn 47. That's how many times I've done it. And I watch Backyard. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. I do. I hate them and I love them. It just is what it is. They open monsters every day. They're pretty badass. They can call their shots. That's where the question comes in. Do they get all the fire because they're in cahoots with the company, or do they get all the fire because they rip way more than any of us ever will?
I
You
think
know? What?
I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive, right? Like
Sure.
I don't think they have to be like not in cahoots, and also the volume. I mean, like the volume is crazy. You see release days, these guys are opening truckloads, like literally truckloads of
Yeah.
wax for 24 hours. Yeah, they're gonna hit those big ones. Like, and now, I've seen it on backyards. They have like when I remember when I forget what product it was, but I think it might have been like Prism Hobby for basketball or something. But it was when Victor Wembanyama was, I mean, hottest thing you could even look at in the hobby. They had PSA on site to grade any Wemby that they pulled that day.
Yeah.
Like any major hit of Wemby, they would automatically grade immediately after the stream. So, yeah, I mean, anytime you have synergy like that, you can't tell me they're major corporations. Like if you trust major
Great.
corporations, that's fine, but they're gonna do what's best for their pockets, for their wallets, and I'm sure they get some some special, favor there.
Listen, if somebody ever sent me, actually, if to anybody, if you ever see this and you want to send me something to review, hit me up. I'll do it. Also, if you're going to send me something to review, you'd be a fool not to send me something good because people are going to see it. And I'm kidding on the square here, but like exactly what you're saying. Of course, I remember that Wemby. I swear, for some reason in my head, it was that case of I don't do much basketball, but it was just like the Wemby only box. I think they were on site, but maybe you're right. Either way, doesn't matter. So in other news, also with whatnot, we're talking about this before the start. Repacks, they have to be from a verified company. So Enigma Trading Company has reached out and got they put their application in. I'm sure everybody's scrambling. What do you think about that? Like, so let's give a little context here. Everybody and their mom does repacks. Repacks on whatnot is a great place for the guy to build his own and a great place to build a shitty one and scam people. Take it away, Andrew. What do you think about what's going on now?
So now that you have to be a verified repacker, I actually know somebody that's doing one. My initial knee-jerk reaction, like when you first hear the news, like my first just gut reaction was like, great, now we're pushing out the smaller guy. Um, but now it is gonna also create a little bit of consistency. You, you know, you don't have these repackers that are literally doing 50% plus margins, which to me is just outrageous. Like when getting ready for my repack, I watched a ton. I mean, just different channels, seeing what worked for these guys, and I knew that the whatnot was going to be not really my avenue, at least to start off with.
Sure.
So I think it's a double-edged sword. I think we're going to push out some of the smaller guys. I was talking to a guy that strictly does whatnot breaks, and now, if he has an average of $150 card, he was talking to Hit Parade last week. Um, and they went 175 a box. So my initial knee jerk reaction is like, all right, it's gonna push out the smaller guys, but it's also gonna create these margins where it's gonna be, a little bit better for the consumer. But now thinking about it, if I'm creating a box that's got 150 average with and I'm paying 175 for it, that just means I'm gonna have to hike the price up. So now it's
Bingo.
hurting the consumer and it's hurting, the supplier and well, not the supplier. The supplier's gonna make out like a bandit on this. Um,
Right.
but it's hurting the breaker. It's hurting the small guy. And it kind of sucks to see. You know, we all monetize, not all. A majority of us do monetize the hobby, which is fine. Mine started out
Mhm.
collecting PC, and then I was like, I won this card. I don't really collect it. I'm gonna sell it or line it and reinvest into my PC.
Yeah.
And it evolved,
Right.
obviously, and you see kind of the cards that I put up today, and uh,
Yeah.
but man, it's still young. I want to see how the cards fall, right, or how the cards are played, because it can be a positive, but just I think it's gonna be an overwhelmingly negative thing to start off with. It's not giving guys like
Yeah.
myself just start, a chance to be able to build and grow. And you're not gonna be able, if you're getting the same thing from every single breaker, or from like three major corporations. 'Cause that's what it's gonna boil down to. It's not gonna be,
Right.
I think, it's not gonna be 200 suppliers. You're gonna have 10,
Yeah.
20, and
Yeah. We'll
everybody.
see. We'll see when they drop. Right. When their verified list comes out, we'll see what's on it. I mean, November is next month. That's when this all starts. And again, that's whatnot. Fanatics already does their own thing. TikTok's clamped down really hard, just with using the store, because you know how it used to be. And then uh, their issues with products not having licenses on them and them going after that. It looks like there might be some easing up on it there, but Facebook, we're still rolling. We're still rolling. But the thing with Facebook is you can't just go live off your channel. You gotta do the legwork. And that's what I like. I mean that's our way of verifying your repack is verifying you. And that's what I like about the Facebook group and the community aspect of it. And the fact that, like the other day, I get a message from so and so from this group that so and so in our group just got booted for being a scammer. Guess what? Smell you later. You're out. You don't do that on Whatnot. It takes a long time for it to trickle down. So I think we got the benefit there. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Right now, dude, I love your repack. One day I'll hit in one. But until then, I'll keep trying. It's a good time. I love repacks, dude. They're better. My wife said something. I think it was last year. Anytime she goes to Target or Walmart, she's grabbing retail if it's there, and it's awesome. She'll go right up to it, and if there's anything, if she doesn't know the product, and she knows a lot of it, she'll send me a picture, and I'll be like, nah, trash, or yeah, grab some. And finally, after a few, because she goes to Target like 2 or 3 times a day, she's like, why do we keep buying this stuff? Like, you'd be better off just buying a platinum. And I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. I love repacks, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit something.
I
It's
love
pretty simple. But
repacks and I love wax too, though. That's why we keep doing it because it's a dopamine release. Like, oh man, that
it sure
excitement
is.
could be, I mean, look at what happened the other day with, me and my daughter when we were at Cards HQ
Right.
in Atlanta, man. We're in Atlanta. I'm taking care of some like passport benefits. We're going to Brazil this winter, to visit my wife's family. And I was like, Cards HQ, it's gonna be too far away. And my wife's like, how far? I was like, it's about 20 minutes. Let's go. I was like, yeah, I know you want to go. Let's go. And I bought a $9 booster, and my daughter, give it to my daughter, because that's our thing. We rip Pokemon together, and I wasn't quite sure of the card when she opened it. I always kind of do a quick scan. I was like, okay, there's like a special illustration or a full art in there, which I'm still kind of unsure of like how. I know if it's completely covered in like artwork, probably a pretty decent
Yeah.
hit. And she pulled
Right.
it. I was like, I think that is one of the chase cards. She pulled the $400 Gardevoir, like one of the bigger chases in the hobby for Pokemon out of the brand new one off a $9 booster pack. So wax is a
Amazing.
that.
For sure. For sure. And we opened a Don Russ hobby box the other day, Ivan and I, and we hit absolutely nothing. But
Yeah.
guess what? I'll do it again. I'll do it again. You know why? Because I'm a crackhead. I can't help it. It's fun. Let's get into a flash or fact. It's my favorite segment. I have had so much fun doing this. It's fun. So I know you know how it works. I'll ask you a question. If it's not true, we flash. If it's fact, it's fact. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. So flash or fact, repacks are shaping the hobby more than sealed wax.
I'm gonna say fact, but that's a hesitant fact because wax is never gonna go
Sure.
away. Just like we were talking about.
Yeah. Yep. At the moment, though, it sure seems like it to me.
Yep.
Yep. All right, flash or fact. A single huge chase card can make or break a repack run.
I'm still a baby in this, so I'm yet to see it, but I think that's gonna be a fact. I would have to say fact because you need to have that oh my gosh, how the hell did I hit that on a $6 mini spot? Somebody's gonna win one of these grails off of a $6 mini, so I'm gonna say fact.
That's right. That's why we have vaults and grails and all your chases. That bingo. I would agree. All right. Flash or fact. I don't even like the way this is worded, but I mean, I wrote it a week and a half ago and things have changed. Digital only repacks will eventually catch on.
Fact.
They've already, it's wild.
Yeah,
I
it's
got a
happening.
buddy literally every day he's sending me what he's hit from, I don't know if it's Arena, whichever one, Dude, talk about a vending machine.
Yeah, they literally
Wild. So
advertise it as a vending machine, and I've hopped on there. Like I've done it. I've done it. Like I mean,
I haven't
big,
yet. I'm
big
so close.
degenerate. Like, all right, I'm gonna try this $50 pack. I have not hit anything. I've probably spent about
What,
$150.
did you do courtyard or arena or what'd you do?
I think I did courtyard. I think I did
Yeah.
court
Were you able to sell it right back?
immediately. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was.
See, that's what I need to do. That's where it's at.
Yeah, I got like a CJ
All
Stroud
right.
like college uni like numbered. Yeah, I was like immediately. So I got like $23 for. So I mean, but
Yeah.
they're
I
transparent
would
with
keep
their
it
colors.
I'd keep it begrudgingly just because it's the Buckeyes, but like, dude, I don't want college uniform.
Mm-mm.
I don't. I want pro uniform and I want licensed. I know what happens, and sometimes to get autos, we got it. I know, guys. Rick, Darren, don't text me. I understand, dude. I get it. This is what I want. Damn it. Sorry. All right. Anyways,
Yeah,
flash or
I
fact.
agree.
Um, Flash or fact. The collective is the best place to launch a repack right now.
Fact.
100%, dude. Without a doubt. And it's working and it's pretty sweet. Flash or fact. Every collector eventually buys into a repack.
I'm gonna say Flash.
Yeah, we still got some of them old guys holding out.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a tougher door to break because we're talking specifically on collectors, right? Not
Yeah, yeah,
guys that just strictly only target their PC. That's kind of what I
yeah,
really see it as. And so a repack's not necessarily just for somebody that's only a collector at all times, unless they start dabbling in. I think a lot of collectors start, especially on Facebook and our group. We have collectors that, okay, I run this, I'm gonna supplement PC or trade this. So, but I'm gonna say
yeah.
Flash.
I'm with it. All right, and then flash or fact: PSA will always be king.
Fact, unfortunately, begrudgingly. It's
Yeah,
it's a necessary evil at this. We know what it is. Yeah.
yeah. What are we gonna do? I'm not grading anywhere else until PSA values aren't 8 billion% higher. Sorry. I mean, if I could get back it up there, I would go with them. If in any of them, it doesn't matter. But we all know what it is, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, dude, wild. So let's see, where am I at here? I'll have to zip over this. I got lost in the thing here. What's been your personal favorite poll so far out of your repack?
Oh, out of my repack, that Cooper Cup number to 4 patch auto. That was just the patch is
Nasty.
so nasty. And that was one that wasn't even like a ceiling card either. That was probably one that sticks out to me.
See, so that's another thing. Ah, man, I'm a collector first. Yes, I dabble in moving cards, but only to refill my card bank account. You know, it's the same thing. I'm a sucker. Don't tell anybody, but boy, I'm a sucker for good patches, man. I really, really am. And my son is too. And cards like that, to me, are ceilings because that's what I want. You know, that's the kind of shit when you look at our PC, there's sick cards. I mean, if you don't know cards, you're gonna look and you're gonna be like, you must have bazillion-dollar cards. It's because they look cool. That's what
Mm-hmm.
brought us to this. You know what I mean? Like let's try to not forget this.
Yeah, dude. And what's crazy is I'm the same way. Like I'm a second friggin' patch. One of my favorite pool cards that I won was a Rasheed Rice RP. It's jersey match, so 4, and it's number 20. So it's kind of funny. It's 420 on the card, half off. But it's a napkin patch,
Perfect.
and it kills
Right.
me. And I'm like, you have the jersey match, you have the funny number, you have the notorious 420, and then you throw a napkin patch in there, makes it huge.
Right. Could you imagine if we were in charge of these cards and instead of throwing a napkin patch, what some of the guys, some of the admins and mods would decide to throw in instead of that? Like there'd be like a rolling paper or some shit, a blunt wrap or something. It's
I was
just so,
gonna
so stupid.
say you'd have a
Could,
monkey
but
holding a cigarette, smoking a cigarette, looking at his phone like this in a pack.
dude, could you imagine though if they like why I don't know, maybe I'm just like ridiculously messed up, but if they had that one dude at Panini or that one dude at Tops that was like us, a regular dude that likes fart jokes and dropped those cards once in a while, like it's not the same, but a Santa Claus downtown, insanity. You imagine if they did a Grinch downtown? Ugh, you
Oh,
know, the same idea, like stuff like that, like those crazy bananas, still sports related, but like a little fucked up. That's dude, that would be sweet. I don't know. That's our group.
I still want that Santa Claus downtown.
Oh my god, me too. My god. Uh, I chased one the other day on Whatnot. Enigma Trading Company did it was like a 24-hour bazillion downtown marathon. They just had everything out there, and it was wild. Like you guys got to go on and check this out. It really was cool. But the chase was they had every downtown you could think of, all slab. But the chase was Gem 10 Santa Claus, and somebody hit it eventually after a full day of streaming. Them dudes took 8-hour shifts. Like it was wild. I'm like, I also hit nothing, but I tried.
That's
So
why I couldn't really do
we get
whatnot.
ready.
I got two little ones. One's a year old, literally just turned a year old, and another 5 year old. I work 60-hour weeks. I don't have the time to, like the guy that I was talking about that's on whatnot, stream like 14
Yeah.
hours a week. I don't have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's why I left it too. It's brutal. I mean, like my wife yells at me all the time for being on my phone. I I couldn't imagine if I was trying to do it like that.
Same.
So, what's next for you personally as a collector and an admin in the collective and moving these repacks? Like, what's your plans for the future here?
So with the repacks, I really want to get others and moderator involved as well. Right now, the markets are pretty low, not being able to buy a huge bulk. I am buying in decent bulk for me. It's big to me, right? It's small to somebody.
Sure.
But really, I'd like to be able to get other guys on, them being able to do the breaks. That way, like you get that pure excitement of not knowing what it is. I'm making these
Love
breaks,
it.
I'm curating them. So like I'll see a couple cards come out and I'm like, okay, I got a pretty good idea, but when I see a card, I remember packing it. I might not know what's in each 10 set because I'm grabbing them randomly, but I still know every card that I packed. So it's not as much excitement, you know, coming from me. And I'm not a big hype guy where got the horn in the background. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I let the product speak for itself. I try, but I still try to interact. But I'm not screaming. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, some people like that you're not that. Some people want that, and some people don't. I mean, you don't have to do that. But I agree because like when I'm running. Let's say I bought 10 from you, and ran them. I have no clue what's in there. It's fun for us too. When we have no idea, it is the best. Because then when something drops, it almost gets that itch of having to spend money myself. I get it from a rip, and then I got to send it out. But you
Yeah,
know,
the dopamine release. Like,
yeah, it is, man. I dig it, dude. I think it's going to build, and I think it's going to be a little faster than you think. But we'll see. If you could rip, let's reword this. If you could send your repack to any celebrity to rip for you, let's say we'll do 10 of them, and they're going to be the guy that does it for you. I know I threw you off here. Who would you send it to? Who would be the one that would rip it for you? It could be an athlete. It could be, because like Glenn said, he would rip with Ric Flair, and I'm like, that's awesome, you know. Like where would you be at with it? Like who do you think would be fun to be your point man? I know it kind of threw you off, but like off the top there, who would you do it?
I'm still gonna stick with my same answer because, like, at first, me being a Chiefs fan, first thought was like Patrick Mahomes, right? But I'm gonna have to
Sure.
go with Travis Kelce. Like, could you imagine him and Gronk opening my repack or opening a like?
Oh my God.
It would be electric, just like he says. He is a huge, like, just party animal. He's really good at, like, he's very energetic and entertaining. I think watching him open a repack would be hilarious.
Dude, that's not a bad idea. That's a pretty good answer. I the only thing is like if you got Gronk involved, he wouldn't be able to read. So I love that dude.
They would be crushing
I love
beers.
that dude.
They'd be shotgunning beers. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
dude, that would so that would and that's what I'm talking about. That's just like the cards. Like if you imagine if those dudes were the guys who designed a certain card and what they would be, that'd be like beer stain napkin patches, you know, shit like that. Like, dude, it'd be hilarious and it'd be the biggest chase in the world.
That would be
I
awesome.
know what we got to do with kids. Can't have a kid opening that up, but I don't know. I'm messed up.
Yeah, somebody made a custom card of like a robe that Deshaun Watson wore to. So like some of those funny custom cards that would be hilarious for like a cheap
Dude,
repack.
I love
Have
it, man. There's a
Gronk
dude.
Kelce open it up.
Exactly. That would be a huge sell. I don't know. The little series, little special, that'd be fun. Um, all right, man. So I appreciate you doing all this, taking some time out. I know, you got family and stuff. It's Sunday, we got football, you got some stuff to do, but really last word for this. If someone listening hasn't tried your repacks yet, why should they?
I think I have some of the best value around, to be honest with you, after looking through multiple groups, whatnot. I try to pack as much punch into each one as possible. Um, I've I've seen what the margins are because I watch breaks and I'll go through and price it. And really, I honestly I feel like what I am packing, it might not be your favorite card, but the value is 100% there. Just I beat most repacks by about $100 value, if not more, per 5 cards, and that's kind of what I'm gonna keep doing it. People love it. Um, as you grow, it's more about the volume than it is just the, oh, I gotta make every single dollar off of this card. You know,
Right.
that'll come with
Right.
time. Like, I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm doing it for fun, and I want
That dude, that
I think the collective is the greatest place for that because I mean, just constant day in and day out activity. We want to be the one-stop shop on Facebook. We want everything that you want in a group, whether it be flashes, whether it be lines, whether it be repacks, whether it be breaks. That's why I broke Domino's Hobby last week because we haven't seen any wax open recently. I don't like doing the
right.
sorting and but it's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, we need to just keep interjecting some of this new stuff into the group so people just love to hang out there.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, man. That's the biggest part, the keeping people there and doing it all. And you guys are doing a great job, and I'm super pumped that you guys fell for it and brought me in because I'm having a good time, man. And I know I don't quite have the reach on my end with what I do like you guys do, but I think um, I'm getting there, like, and learning the guys in there more. And dude, I'm having a good time because I played a ton in there already. Like I've been in there for a little while. I mean, obviously that's how you guys figured out who I was. There's I have my own room, dude, and I'm telling you, there's nothing like the collective, dude. Seriously, it is. If you guys have not joined yet, follow this link right here, man. It is a good time, and you will find something for everybody. Definitely something you like, and especially with Andrew's repacks, he's a little modest on it. Yeah, the value's there and all that, but the way he breaks into sing song in the middle of the break is the best part. And he's got, some have said, the voice of our generation. So you guys definitely should check it out. It is a damn good time. It is a damn good time. So
I promise you, if I
hell yeah,
started
dude.
singing on my lives, people would stop buying into the breaks. I promise you that.
Absolutely not. They would double down. I guarantee it. We can put a pop bet on that right now, dude. I guarantee it. Dude, thanks for doing this, man. It was a good time. I'm definitely gonna do more. Like you, Rich, Glenn, like so far. I want to get everybody else, but we can like just hop on phones and do it. Like when I did Ian the other day, he had a great idea of doing a three-way. Whoop whoop.
Hell yeah.
But like right, and get random topics, and I'm with it if you guys are. So, and especially to get different perspectives. But dude, thank you so much, man. This will be fun to continue doing, and especially for the group members to see that you guys are not ATMs, you're real people, and you got some funny stuff to share.
I appreciate you. Thanks for, I mean, you've been a godsend for the group as well. So, yeah, I love doing
Nah,
I love what you've done with the social media aspect of it. Really bringing to light who we are. Like you said, not just ATMs. Honestly, we probably spend more in the group than um, we all should. But
yeah.
it's really fun to just kind of get out there and show people like who we are, what we're about, because it's in our name, collective. Like we do everything together as a group, and it has become like a second family, you know. And I think that's why a
For,
lot of us are in the hobby too. Like why we love this part is you become friends and family with all these people. It becomes more than just cards. So, but
yeah,
I appreciate you.
without a doubt, dude. Hell yeah, man. Well, hey, have a good Sunday. Go Chargers, and we'll get this out as soon as we can. See you guys. Peace.
Peace.